evening, friends. Let me pull this up a little bit. I've got my phone backwards, so I cannot see what you see yet. So let me pull you up on my iPad. I hope you all have had a blessed week so far. I know it's only Tuesday. It feels like Thursday to me. How's everybody doing? If you're watching on replay, thank you so much for taking the time to watch it on replay. Let me know that you watched on replay, hashtag replay. We have one word on here today, so that's why I've got my camera backwards. I hope you all enjoyed yesterday's little snowman that we made. I think he turned out pretty darn cute. All right, let me go ahead and turn you down because I'm going to get started. This is our 16-inch round that we created. I don't know. Can't remember when we made him. It's the most wonderful time of the year with the transfer from Essential Stencil and the stencil. And I know you don't see it, but we've got a little bit of shimmer going on in his beard, his cap, and down on the pine cones. What's that? Snow cones. And we're going to transform the other side. This round came from Craft Deals, and I used light sage to go ahead and give it a base coat. So that is the color that you see on here. I did mark right there where my middle is so that I know where my middle is when I start working on this side. But I'm going to add a little bit of light buttermilk in here, but I'm just going to dry brush it. So I'm going to take my, hey Anna, welcome, welcome. Washington State. Wow, did you guys get all that snow yet? Hey Sherry, I appreciate you hopping on. I did finish our little snowman from yesterday. I added a little bit of things to it. I want some snow so bad, ladies. I'm in North Carolina, and we normally don't get much. If we get snow, it is more of an ice than a snow situation. And I just would love to get some snow. We are going to go on Friday after Thanksgiving, or the next day after Thanksgiving, to the mountains to go get our Christmas tree with my granddaughter. And a couple of times it just snowed a little bit. It wasn't much. It was just a little light dusting. But I'm hoping that maybe we see a few snowflakes. And I know all of you are like, no, we don't want snow. I'm using very, very little paint. And for those of you that are new to me, I'm Ann. Whimsically Knotted is my business, my page, my crafting community. I call us the Whimsy Bunch. That's who we are. Most of us are steeped in faith. We pray for one another. So if you do have a prayer concern, or you need a prayer, even if it is an unspoken request, let us know. We gladly pray for you. And I think that is just the right amount of, I just wanted a little bit of variation than just that sage color. We might add a little bit more here and there later, but for right now, this is good. If I want to use my brush again, I wrap it up in a wet wipe. And this is just a Sam's Club Clorox wipe. For those of you that missed the snowman yesterday, I added a little bit of things to the other one. I added a little bit of Dark Kills wax to the side. I made him a little tag and I added a bell. So that's all I done to finish him up. And I didn't do anything to the other one. He is still the same. But I think he turned out cute. And it says, "Let it snow." So very cute. And I know some people have big trees to put an ornament like that on. I don't. But you can also hang this in your kitchen window. You can hang it on a doorknob. There's so many places that you can hang this little guy. And all of my creations are available. I do sell all of them. I'm going to dry this really good because we are going to use transfers. Thank you, Anna. So we have to have a good dry surface if we want to use transfers. And the ones I am using, I've linked it in the comments or in the header in the description. We are going to be using the Cozy Winter Cuddles. And look at all the adorable transfers that are in here. Aren't these just awesome? I just love these. So that's what we're going to use. I'm going to make sure this is good and dry. To use transfers, you got to have a dry surface. No matter whether you use paint or stain, you have to have a oil-free surface. Even the oils from your hands can transfer, and then your transfers will not work. Hey, Kimberly. I love that snowman too. He's so cute. It does look like snow flying in the wind. This is my snowstorm. If I can't have it, I'm going to have to create it, right? Sorry for the noise, ladies. But I do want to sand this back a little bit. Again, I got my mark up here so I know where I need to be. And from the stencil, we're going to be using the Welcome to the Nut House stencil, which is this one. This is a layered stencil. It is still available. And all we're going to use from that one is the word welcome. And that's all we're going to use is the word welcome. And we will get to that in just a moment. Let me get all the transfers that I'm going to use. Make sure I got everything. Make sure nothing got left behind. And let me rearrange this. These trees came together. As you can tell, I cut them apart. They were one big set of trees like this on the sheet, like this. And I cut them apart because I need them to be apart. Can you guys see that? Let me turn it down a little bit more. Do you want me to put you closer, or can you guys see good enough? Hey, Carlene. All right. I had this guy over here. I love this little house. I just think it is so cute. This guy is going here. This guy is going over here. My bell is going on the top. Yep, and that looks pretty good. Okay, I am going to start with the house first. I'm going to leave that. And if you're not familiar with transfers, there is 3 parts to a transfer. The backer board, the carrier sheet, and then the transfer itself. If you need to put it back on there, put it on the shiny side. Leave you enough space where there is no print, no color, so that you can lay that back down if need be. once it lays down, you cannot pick it back up. It will stick immediately. Transfers can be used on almost anything. You can see good? Okay, good. Thank you, ladies. You can use them on galvanized metal, glass, plastic, wood, painted surfaces, as long as it is oil-free, grease-free. You can pretty much put it on anything. You can put it on fabric. I have not found a way that you can wash these. So I would, if you put it on fabric, it would have to be a decorative piece that you will not wash. And then when you've got it rubbed in good, you can pick up one corner and start pulling it off. And if something does not transfer, lay it back down and go back over it again. I normally go all the way around and leave the middle for last. That way I have better control. And Essential Stencil has these amazing tools that you can use. This one just happened to be the breast cancer awareness one. And you just keep burnishing it in, rubbing it in, and keep pulling at it slightly until everything is adhered, and it goes normally pretty fast. I thought that background color matched up really good with this. It looks like a snowy background, and it matched up pretty good color-wise with the house and the trees. Come back to the bottom so that I can get this and come up to the middle. Did you guys create and craft when you were little for Christmas? Did you make ornaments and different things and the paper snowflakes and stuff when you were little? We made all kinds of different things in Germany. We made straw stars out of, now they call them drinking straws, but it was actually pieces of straw like this big and thin, and you would have to put them in water and soak them, and then you made stars out of it. You crisscrossed them and used yarn to go over top. We made those. We used different foils and made stars with foil. We had, it looked like aluminum foil. One side was blue and the other side silver. One side was red and the other side was gold. Paper chains, yes. Popcorn garlands. We didn't do popcorn garlands. But another thing that we done is we took like black cardstock, and then we had transparent colored paper. It looked like colored parchment paper, basically. And we would cut things out like a silhouette, and then we put the colored paper behind it. Hashtag notify, yes ma'am. Hashtag exclamation mark notify. That way you know when I'm live. That is correct. And we would, like you cut out a candle. You just leave the outside black and the outside line of the light black. And you would put the transparent colored paper behind it and then put a little candle behind it. And it would shine through there. It was so pretty. Those are some of the things that I grew up with in Germany. And I was just curious whether you guys created and crafted for Christmas. And if you do Christmas baking. I know my daughter and I, we don't do it as much anymore as we used to. But we used to bake a lot of cookies. different types, and I would take them to work. We made goodie tins for everybody, and she was the baker. She made all the, see, there's nothing left on here. She made all the cookies, and I made all the chocolate covered things. My husband would take the Ritz crackers, put peanut butter in between, and then I would dip them in white chocolate. I made the pretzels with the white chocolate. Just anything chocolate dip, the little haystacks. I would do the chocolate dip stuff. And she done all the baking. What is your favorite Christmas cookie? Mine is, don't know what it is called. It's the brown dough and the white dough, and you make like little pinwheels or little checkers. That is my favorite. It has a little bit of an almond taste. And my other favorite are coconut macaroons and vanilla crescent cookies. I like pretty much all cookies except for gingerbread. I'm not much of a gingerbread person. I still have the old cookie press my mama used with all the metal discs that go in there to make all the different designs. That thing is old, but still works. I even have the little cookbook that came with it. It's all in German. It's looking good so far, ladies. Look at this. Does that not look pretty? I love it. Love, love, love it. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate you. That is one way that you can ornament out of applesauce mixed with cinnamon. Never heard of that. Awesome. Oh, Carlene, thank you. And that's what I was going to say. If you want to help your creators to grow, your crafty friends that you watch, hearts, thumbs up, sprinkle them out, which means share. All those things they would appreciate, and it does help them out a lot. Make sure I put my trees on semi-straight. And if you want to give your creator a little tip, then you can do stars. And stars is just like a little tip, like if I would have a little tip jar sitting here, or you tip in your hairdresser, or your nail technician, or your newspaper man, or your favorite barista, your server. That's what stars do. They give your creator just a little tip saying, hey, I appreciate you. I love what you do. And then we in turn can get little, thank you, Sherry. We in turn can get some things to give out a Happy Meal I draw a name out of our little Happy Mail bucket. We'll put names in every life. And we'll draw a name. And at the end of December, some lucky person, some very special, wonderful person, will get some Happy Mail from me. Just saying thank you for being here. Because I appreciate you guys. And if there is anything that you need from Essential Stencil, whether it is something new that's coming out, whether it's a stencil that you've been looking to be restocked, or if you need some of their brushes, you can do !ES for Essential Stencil, and you go directly to their site and you can shop to your heart's content. And don't forget, if you have creators or crafty friends and you're looking for something for Christmas, get them a little surface and a stencil and some paint, and they be able to create. That would be a great gift for someone. Maybe you have someone that is a little hard to buy for. That will be one way that you can gift them something. Okay, he is going to go back up here a little bit so that they're not in the same height, to give it a little bit of variation. And again, I cut these trees apart. They did not come this way. I did cut them. They came together as a set of 3. And the nice thing about these transfers too is you can wrap them around something. For instance, if you wanted to put this on something round, you can. You can bend them around something. So that is another nice thing about these transfers too. So Miss Anna, have you had snow yet? Are you having snow right now? I always like to hear the snow report. Miss Carlene had some beautiful snow. I always enjoy seeing all of your snow pictures. Oh, thank you, Anna. Hey, Miss Bonnie, you're never late. You're always just on time. And if you're wondering what this accent is, I am from Germany. So if you have a hard time understanding me, just tell me to repeat it. We have lived in, let's see, we lived in 3 different places in Germany. The north, middle, and southern part of Germany, and we've lived in Pennsylvania, Missouri, and now in North Carolina. So I've got a lot of different accents in my speech. And again, if something is not adhering well, lay it back down and scrub back over it. And you can also, when you're done transferring, go over it with your backer sheet and burnish it in just a little bit more. It is coming together, ladies. This looks pretty all by itself. You could stop right here and it would be gorgeous. Add a word to it. You could do Home Sweet Home. And to me, it is not just Christmassy. It is like the Christmas season or the winter season. Miss Carlene, can you tell Miss Anna where the stars are to find? Because I honestly don't know. I can't see them from my end. Did that help you, Miss Anna? Like your name, by the way. My full name is Mary Ann, all spelled together, but I like people call me Ann. I've got to stand up for this so that I can put this exactly in the middle where I want it. And I know my house is not lined up with that, but that is okay. That is not a problem. And I do appreciate you taking time to hop on. Like I have said previously, I don't know if I'm going to keep my regular schedule of Monday nights at 7 Eastern and Thursdays at 10:30. It literally depends on what appointments my husband has. I know we've got some phone appointments on Monday. So it all depends on how things go. So I might just hop on at different times. And that's why I said it's easier if you guys do the exclamation mark notify. That way you know when I'm on. And I'm normally a person that, you know, likes a schedule. That way you know, okay, 7 o'clock Monday evening, Anna's on. But right now that is just not doable, and I appreciate your guys' grace and letting me come on when I can. Because I miss you guys if I don't. I love interacting with you guys. I sometimes put my finger down, that way my backer or my transfer sheet will not slip out of my hand, and I can control and make sure that everything adheres perfectly and see nothing left behind. Oh, I love that. Where I lived in a little itty bitty town of 220 people in Germany, and we could hear the church bells ring from the town over, which was 5 kilometers, 3 or 5 kilometers away. I cannot remember now. So that was always pretty cool. We'd go outside and I could hear the bells, church bells ring. This Nutcracker stencil is for a 12-inch round, and I don't know if you can see that it has that groove, so when you lay it on that round it fits perfectly and you can line it up really well. And I'm just gonna see how far down I want to come. I think I want to come down a little bit more because I've got something else in mind. I am going to pick this up for just a second, because I do want to be somewhat in the middle here. And you guys know I don't never really measure anything. I think this looks good. Take a little bit of tape. And again, I am only doing the word welcome. The trees and to the nut house is very close on here, so I am going to take my tape and tape some of these things off, because when I swirl, I might swirl a little bit too much and get paint where I don't need it. So I am going to tape that off. And right here, that H is really close to the O, and the N is as well to the C. So I am just going to take a bigger piece and tape that off. And don't forget to put your little bread tie on here. That way you will always find the beginning of your tape. And that tip is courtesy of Miss Bonnie. Yes, tape is our best friend. Hello, Miss Maggie. I am going to do that in the color Lush Green. I laid out what I do to find which color I want. I take my paint and I lay it down and I look, okay, that looks pretty good. That color works, this color works, and that way I know what color will go with my stencil. And I got way too much paint. I use coffee filters laying on the plate for stability, and this is my favorite size brush, the 5/8 inch brush. Way too much paint. I'll come over here and load my brush. It's always good to review this. That's about as much paint as I want on there. It is still a little bit too wet. So I come over here and I'll offload some of that paint until my brush is a little bit more dry. And right here, that corner is really close to the edge. So I'm just going to take a piece of cardboard or Becker board or cardstock, index card, whatever you have, and I'll lay it on there so that I will not go over that edge. I normally swirl to get my paint on, and I swirl in both directions, making sure I will not hit that next design up there. When I feel that my paint is running low, I can press a little bit harder, but not too much, because otherwise you might move those little bridges. And right now, I still have paint on here, but it is pretty much running out. I go back to my offload pile and fill up. And you'll be surprised how much paint is left on that little offload pile. You can also, when you offload on your paper towel or brown paper or cereal box, whatever you offload on, you can also go to that and pick up a little bit more paint. And see, I swirl right and I swirl left. And if I want texture, I stipple. The up and down motion is called stippling. If you have a color like your metallics are very translucent. They're very thin colors. Less is more. Do a coat, dry it, and do another coat. That is the best way on putting color on that is a little bit thinner or that is a little bit translucent. You just dry it and move your heat gun around. Do not leave it on one place because you might melt your stencil. Not that that has ever happened. And look what I did. If I would not have paid attention, that would have been on my board right there, and that would not have been good. I'm just going to rub it off. I'm okay if it has a little bit of another color on there. I don't sweat those small things. I just really don't. And then we can do another coat and have a good solid coverage. I am not going to close the bridges in, but if you would like to close the bridges in, you are more than welcome. I am going to leave them open. And the bridges are the small connectors that keep your letters together. In the beginning, when I started stenciling, I didn't know any of those terms. I'm like, what is a bridge? What are you talking about? I think that looks good. Again, if you want to use this again, wrap it in your Clorox wipe. That looks good. And I go ahead and take my tape back off. Just be careful if you, for instance, if you have it over here where there's a small bridges, don't rip it like this because you'll be able to damage those bridges because they are very thin. Like here, if I would just rip this, it would rip my stencil. So we'll want to do this very carefully. See right there how that is ripping it? We just want to remove it carefully so that that will not happen. Another tip. If you need to use this again, make sure that you do not have no bleed on the back side, because if you lay it back down, you will transfer that paint onto your piece. What do we think? Does it look good so far? We're not done. Oh, you're welcome. That's what. Yes, that is a really good color match. It's not the same, but it is in that color family, so it looks really, really good. And now my little surprise. We're gonna have a cardinal in here. We've got to have a cardinal. And he fits best on my L right there. And you are still able to read the word. You can still see that it says welcome. But I think that little pop of red makes a big difference in this setting. And if you cannot pick up your transfer, use a little piece of tape and lift it up like that. and then just hold your finger under it. And one thing I didn't do, I did not dry this again, so I'm hoping that my letters were dry enough. And you ladies know I love cardinals, so I had to incorporate this little guy in here. And you guys know the saying, every time a cardinal appears, the loved one is near. So, our loved one is watching over our house. Make sure I get all these little berries. When you have transfers with little twigs or little legs or little berries, just take your time that you adhere all those little twigs. It is very easy to miss one of them. So don't rush it. If you feel resistance, lay it back down and rub some more. I think he fits perfect on that L right there. Now my question is, I have got these two little flowery things. Do we want to add them to the sides up here to fill that in a little bit, or do we want to leave it the way it is? Do we want to add those, or do we want to leave it without them? You guys let me know. Thank you, ladies. While I'm waiting on you guys to see what you're saying, I am going to take that green we just used and I am going to go around the edge and what I call framing it in. I normally use a color that is in the picture, or I use brown or black, and I frame this in. It is literally like you're adding a little frame to your piece, and it does make a difference. And if I don't have enough paint, I just add a little bit more. Might have to get me a little bit more. My brush might be a little bit too dry. Nice. Somebody says add them, and someone says either way. So I think I'm going to add them just to fill it out a little bit. That just adds that little something. And you're probably wondering, how are you going to hang it? I normally put 2 holes up here, and I either use wire or jute to hang it. If my board is thick enough, I put eye hooks on the top and use eye hooks to hang it. So it depends on the board, what it is, on how I am hanging it. And if you are new to Essential Stencil, I also have a code to give you a discount anytime you shop. And my code is WK21. And if you type in !code, it will give you the code. And I've got to sand this. I've got a little hair bristle. There we go. Was a little bristle. I wanted to be stubborn, but we got him. Go back over the side right here that doesn't have that much color on it. Didn't that make a little bit of a difference, adding that border around it? I like it either way. I do want to use my little sanding sponge. I'm going to sand over this. I'm even sanding over the transfers. I like sanding everything. One over by the M. One of these things, like added right here. Like that. I was thinking of having them come down like this and this. To fill this in a little bit. I think there's a smaller one too. And if you wanted to make this 3D, truly 3D, you can take greenery. Let me show you real quick. And you could glue that on top. You could add it up here. And make it 3D. And then, of course, do the other ones. Or, you know, have like little trees. But do that and put the other trees on there. You can do that. There are so many different ways that you can elevate this. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to add these or not. I'm debating. Oh, take these back off. They always tell me less is more. Because I have the habit of adding too much stuff. I think I'm going to leave them off. So that's what I had for you. This is the one side. And then this is our other side. So we have one we can set up for Christmas, and one of them we put on our door for winter. And I just think it's just beautiful. And you can add more snow down here if you want to. I am going to take, where is my, I'm looking for a, I'll use this old scruffy brush now. I'll just use the angle brush. I am going to add that green on the edge. I know it is a different green than in the front. But I think it is okay. That way my edge is done. I normally stain the edges, or I use a color that is complementary to both of them. Whoa, there was a little blob in there, and look at how much paint came out. I don't need that much paint. But that's how I finish it out. I'll just add that little bit of extra to finish out the piece. It is easier to do standing up, because I feel like I'm missing something. What did you guys think about that Christmas tree? If you want to make it, or that green array, if you want to make it 3D, doesn't that look cool? Now I want to make a piece to do that, to add a 3D Christmas tree on there. I think that would be so cool. I do not do bows on mine. It's hit and miss. Some people love them, some people hate them. So I leave mine without bows. That's why I got that little bell up there. If they want to add a bow later by themselves, they can add a bow. In the beginning, I've made my pieces with bows, but it's like I said, it's hit and miss. Some people love them and some people don't. And if you custom make a piece, you can always ask your customer, your client, if they want a bow or not. So that is completely up to you whether you want to add a bow. I normally have added bows to the string or the wire. That way you can just turn it around. You can use it on both sides. I normally would make a bow that is complementary to both sides. And all you had to do is just turn it around. That to me was the easiest way to do it, because sometimes if you have a bow and it protrudes out and you have a double-sided sign, you will see the back side of the bow. So I either put another bow on the other side to cover that up, that way it would blend in, or like I said, I would put it on the hanger itself so it can be turned around and used for both sides. Plus, if you are reselling items, that would be a cost saving. You would not have to make two bows. You could just do one bow and bring it around to the other side. A lot of my pieces are like a rustic, vintage kind of style. So I use a lot of wire and jute for my hangers. And I also create custom pieces. I'm getting ready to work on a custom piece for someone. They wanted something to give to somebody in their family that has a camper, or they camp, and they didn't want a big 16-inch round, so I'm making a 14-inch one. And I'm using several different stencils to bring that together. And see, just this easy, we have this round all finished out. couple of bare spots here, so I'm gonna go back over these. I got a little carried away right here. Let me show you how to fix that. I'm just going to take my wet wipe. And wipe it back a little bit. And then we can take our I still got a little paint on here from before. And we can just add a little bit of that paint in. That's why it's always good to keep your brush moist. And see, now we've got that all fixed up again. And that is it for this evening, ladies. Thank you. Over by the me. What you guys think? We want to add that one up here? I've got a smaller one. Let's see if that smaller one would look better. I didn't want to take away from the cardinal, so let me see if that smaller one would work better. What you ladies think? Tell me. Tell me. I think that smaller one would be perfect. I think that one is a little bit too big. Oh yeah, that smaller one is perfect. Now I'm thinking whether we should put it on the top or on the bottom. Shall we put it on the top right here, or shall we put it on the bottom right here? Decisions. Like on the top right here. All right, top it is. Let me get this the right way. Now put it between the E and the M. Like it's hanging out. That was a good idea. Look at that. That looks good. All right, ladies, let me pull a name for thank you to put in our Happy Mail bucket. Miss Sherry going into our Happy Mail buckets. There it is. Where did that go? And again, at the end of December, I will draw a name. For Happy Meal. So keep coming back, and your name is gonna be added if I pull it. You have more chances. Have a blessed evening, ladies, and thank you for your participation and help, and enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will see you. I might come on tomorrow, don't know yet. I don't think we got anything going on Thursday, so should be back at 10:30 Thursday, but I might pop in tomorrow. All right, bye for now. I've got to get up and turn the phone off, so let me turn that down so you guys can see.